Yo, what's up YouTube? Dirty Dan Gaming coming back with another Rise of Kingdoms video, and today we're going to be talking about some of the other new commanders that have entered Rise of Kingdoms or that are going to be entering Rise of Kingdoms. These are going to be the new talent tree type, the engineering commanders. These are going to be specialized in ranged combat for the V formation. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out Miss Margaret I and Babur. Engineering commanders, ranged combat. Oh boy. And there was a recent change too for ranged combat where they are actually going to be doing some savoons, so it's gonna be tricky. These guys are we'll see where this all shakes out. Me right now, I'm honestly not very much of a fan of ranged combat. I think it's we'll see. They are gonna take a little bit counterattack damage now, so but I'm not sure where I stand on these guys just yet, but let's just get into them. So Babur is going to be engineering versatility and attack commander, as I kind of peeked earlier. He is going to be available on the Wheel of Fortune. So let's check out his skills. First skill, Victor of Panipat. Deals skill damage to a target troop up to 2,000, reduced by 50% if not within melee range of target. Which is a little weird because if you're not in melee range, then how are you hitting them if you're in range? But I don't know. If you guys know what that means, then drop a comment down below. Second skill, the Babur Nama. I like that name. Increase the attack of this commander's siege units by 15% and their defense by 15%. This commander's troops deal up to 10% more ranged normal attack damage. Pretty solid. In range mode, this commander's troops take 10% less damage from normal attacks. Ranged normal attacks from this commander troops have a 10% chance to deal additional skill damage up to 500 to the target troop. This effect can trigger once every 5 seconds. So some nice burst damage coming out here, and that is just from straight up attacking. So you have a chance to kind of in essence get up to 2,500 damage in one hit. Increases health of this commander's siege units by 5%. When taking damage, this commander's siege units have a 10% chance to gain up to 40% increased defense and 1% increased damage for 3 seconds, up to 5%. This effect can trigger once every 5 seconds. I kind of like this health bonus here. So 20% health, you can gain up to the 40%. So maybe this guy would be usable in a siege garrison. Increase the attack of all this commander siege units by 10%. Whenever they use an active skill, their troops will gain 50 rage per second for the next 3 seconds. This effect can trigger once every 5 seconds. So I think a pretty decent kit here. Nothing that screams wow to me. Maybe besides this fourth skill with the chance at 40% defense. That'll give you 55 total on siege units. Again, it's ranged combat. You're using sieges. I think maybe the sieges might still be better off in a garrison to kind of deplete your enemies, but we got to see how this plays out when we have a bunch of arrow towers staring us at the face that can now do direct damage factors. So those things are definitely going to be priority number one, I think, especially if a lot of people have this Babur chilling around. And this is kind of good for free to play. I mean, a free to play player who gets Babur up to, 5 is pretty usable. I mean, you're just going to have him parked back anyway. Most of the times people are putting up these towers and they're getting wrecked for the most part regardless. So you might as well just throw a Babur out there with some siege units with the V formation to do some 2k skill damage. So pretty decent. Let's go ahead and check out Miss Margaret. So she's going to be an engineering versatility and support commander, which is kind of leading me to believe that she should probably be primary to Babur if you are using them in conjunction with one another. For 3 seconds, so first skill, Semiramis of the North. For 3 seconds, ranged normal attacks from this commander troops deal up to 50% extra damage and deal additional skill damage of 500. 50% if not within melee range. So that's about 1500, and then 50% extra normal attack damage is pretty dope. Increase the attack of this commander's siege by up to 20% and their march speed by 20%. That's huge. And range attacks from this commander's troops have a 10% chance to increase its normal attack damage by up to 20% for 3 seconds. So this does stack with this. So you're looking at some pretty big white numbers that'll probably be coming at you if this stack hits. With her active skill, you're getting up to 70% increased normal attack damage bonus. Does he have a normal attack damage bonus as well? He does, actually, a passive commander's troops. So you're looking at 80% with Babur. That's normal attack damage reduction, a damage bonus. Yeah, so you're looking about 80% with Babur and Margaret combined together. Pretty dope. Third skill in range mode, this commander's troops deal up to 20% extra range skill damage. When their troops deal skill damage, it has a 30% chance to reduce the target troops march speed by 30% for 3 seconds. It's pretty good. I like her kit a lot so far. It's really nice. Fourth skill, obedience to power, increase the attack of this commander's troops by up to 5%. Range normal attacks from this commander's troops have a 10% chance to reduce the target troops' defense by up to 40% for 3 seconds. Whoa, I know it's a 10% chance, but if you have a ton of Margarets in the field, this is going to increase your chances of getting that debuff onto an enemy, and those should stack if they hit accordingly. So you're talking about some massive debuffs that are coming from a commander like Margaret. That's pretty nuts. The Kalmar Union increased the defense of this commander's siege units by 10% when taking damage. This commander's troops have a 10% chance to heal itself, a healing factor of 500. So some pretty good things to uncover here. She is very much more of conditional, so she needs to be in range mode to get this, and then also this, and then also this. Whereas I think Babur's really doesn't have that. Increases this, that's base and ranged mode. Increase health when taking damage. So this one's not conditional, although this one is conditional because you need the ranged normal attacks commander's troops to deal extra 50%. So Babur can probably be used in a garrison. I don't think Margaret would be able to because she has 2 skills which are conditional to being in ranged mode. Pretty good. I'm curious to see some of the combinations that are going to be paired with these commanders. Now, I think a commander like Ishida might now have a place, because if you want to set up 2 arrow towers, you can kind of split these guys up. So if you're looking at a commander like Ishida paired with Margaret, speed of rage gained by 30%, you're getting an attack bonus, you're getting a health bonus over here, 15%, and a skill damage bonus, which you don't really need with Margaret, but I guess you could use that. I would probably just go ahead and probably do this for the speed of rage gained, because I want to keep doing as much normal attack damage as possible, and she's already a support commander too, so you might run the risk of over raging a little bit, but hey, I mean, if it's getting me up to 50% normal attack damage bonus on 3 attacks, I'll take that all day, any day. And then maybe a commander like Sundiak, just because she has a pretty good debuff, and let's see, where is she? Just because she has a pretty a commander like Sundiak, just because she has a pretty good nuke and then a nice debuff on the rage reduction. I don't think anything else in her kit would really give you, because this is when gathering from resource points. Troops commanders consist of only siege units. All normal attacks have a 10% chance to deal additional damage, so that's pretty good too. So Sundiak and Ishida can probably do a little bit of work when it comes to being in the field with a ranged combat commander. Let's look at some of the other siege commanders. Direct damage factor, enemy attack reduction. I think she actually does give a health bonus and a defense bonus, so this might be pretty good too to pair with a commander like Babur's. And then they have additional troop capacity, and then Tamar, she gives you a little bit of a buff, but I don't think she'll be viable. So I think maybe some of the other pairings that you'd be able to think about when it comes to ranged combat is going to be splitting Margaret and Babur up, and then using a Sundiak, and Ishida, and probably a Matilda if you just want to kind of power on and stack up those passive stats. So Very curious to see where this meta is going to lead us into. And then since we did it before on our Heraclius video, let's go ahead and just check out some of the armaments that we would probably be going for. So obviously you'd be in V formation, so sharpshooter. Troops receive a 5% boost to range normal attack. So now, if all things are right, I think we're up to 85% now with Margaret and Babur's being paired together. Range normal attack have a 10% chance to consume 50 rage to increase the damage of the attack by 50%. I think that's something that we see with arch formation as well. You increase the damage by 70%. Yeah, so that's very similar to something that we see in the arch formation special inscription. That's pretty good. Next, troops receive a 5% boost to range normal attack damage. Now we're up to 90% if all things are right. That's pretty crazy. When attacking from range, for every 20% decrease in the current target units, the damage dealt by your range normal attacks is increased by 3% up to 12%. 102%. Is it 102 or 107%? I'm losing the math already. We'll say 102% normal attack damage bonus with special inscriptions now. Increase troop skill damage resistance by 5%. Increase siege unit attack by 30% for 10 seconds after entering battle. Pretty cool. And then lastly, troops receive a 10% boost to range normal attack damage. So now you're talking about almost, we'll round it up and say almost 120% increase to normal attack damage. And that's if all the stars align, but that's some pretty, I mean, now that they're doing Sev wounds, oh man, I applaud the whale that goes for these special inscriptions on the V formation, but holy cow, you can have some pretty crazy damage coming out. I don't think we've ever seen or thought or heard of anything of 120% normal attack damage bonus. So Attila gives you 30%, and then I think with Takeda, I mean, he's giving you the 50% damage bonus. So this is where that chunk really comes in if he gets 100% that hits. And then I think Takeda is giving you 50%. So the highest that we've gotten, and these don't even stack actually. That's by far the highest, 120%. That's nuts. That's crazy. Thank God these things can't target flags and passes, because it would be a total nightmare. Don't be surprised if you see some of these towers really chunking you on damage, especially for the fact that Babur's has some skill damage to him. This is going to be interesting. I'm not really a fan of this V formation arrow tower meta, because you can just kind of set things up. I think that they did release some patch notes where they are kind of tweaking how you can use these arrow towers, but as of right now, I'm not really a fan. We've fought against it in our last KVK, and it's a nightmare trying to just, dive ball in and clear a bunch of towers, especially if there's some field presence there already. So I think it does, you will eventually get through them, but I think it just takes a little bit more time. So very curious to see where this goes. If you're going to be a ranged combat specialist, these are your commanders. They're the only ones available that are going to be doing some skills. And actually, the active skills with Ishida and those other gathering commanders probably won't work now that I'm thinking about it. So shows how much I know. So disregard any of that I said in terms of pairings. You could probably find some other pairings that are going to be a little bit better for these commanders potentially. But let's see. There's still a lot of time. Oh, and Margaret, by the way, you get her through an event. So I think everyone's going to be able to get Margaret, I think maxed to some point. So thank you, Lilith, for doing that. And just quick shout out to Babur and this sick tiger cloak that he has. I mean Nevsky's got a pretty dope little cloaky cloak over here. Where is he? Where's my man's? I mean, that's a pretty sick cloak, but I mean, dude, Babur's like straight up just like killed a tiger and threw that shit over his back. So just want to do a quick shout out to him. All right, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing. It's all totally free. It helps the channel out immensely. And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Take care. Peace.